All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a stress-free day because when you look at this trade, that's probably going to change. So this is an extremely interesting trade, and there's actually the Rockets are in here. So we're back at it with another Lakers trade rumor because I don't know why. I'm hoping one of them blows up. I'm just hoping. Anytime I upload something that isn't a Rockets video, it just gets like 100 views. So if you're watching this video, man, I love you so much. It's unbelievable. Let's just get right into it. This is chaotic. This is hectic. This is intense. So in this trade, you'll see that let's start with the Lakers. All right, let's just break everything down really quickly. The Los Angeles Lakers in this trade acquire two players, Bradley Beal and Daniel House. All right. The Warriors in this trade acquire two players, Alex Len and Victor Oladipo. The Houston Rockets in this trade acquire five players, Dennis Schroeder, Kelly Oubre, Kyle Kuzma, Kent Bazemore, Jordan Poole, a 2027 first and second round pick. And I also feel like I didn't say who the Warriors got. They got Victor Oladipo and Alex Len. So that leaves the Washington Wizards in this trade, who get KCP, THT, a first round pick from the Rockets, and a second round pick. Now, I actually believe one of these trades, I think I fucked up somewhere in here, but it had to do with one of the picks that the Wizards weren't supposed to get. I think it was like the Warriors, or maybe it was the Rockets end up getting a pick. It was something like that. It's not a big deal. So let's take a look at this trade. This is intense. This is extremely intense. I'm going to take it from a Rockets perspective. So let's boil this down from the Rockets perspective. So they give up Victor Oladipo and Daniel House, who are two players we're trying to move anyways. Unfortunately, though, we give up a 2022 first-round pick via Milwaukee and a 2023 first-round pick via Washington. Not a fan. I am not a fan of this at all. At all. It's the Lakers end up, like, the Lakers in this trade give up four players, right? They give up KCP, THT, Schroeder, and Kyle Kuzma. And those are four really important players. Yet somehow I still feel like the Rockets are the ones who get screwed over in this trade. I mean, this trade works with the Warriors. All you're giving up if you're the Warriors is Kelly Oubre, who they're trying to deal anyways. Kent Bazemore, who actually is a big deal. Having a decent season for him this year. But they'll be able to fill that role. He's on an expiring. Jordan Poole, actually, I forgot that Jordan Poole was in this trade. That is a lot to give up to just receive Alex Len and Victor Oladipo. I don't think that the Warriors would be inclined, and I don't think that they would have to give up all of these players to just get Victor Oladipo and Alex Len. Like, a lot of this trade just seems like it's there to try to get the Lakers to get Bradley Beal. And that's 100% what this video is about, is just to play around with how can Bradley Beal end up a Los Angeles Laker, whether you want it, whether you don't want it. Because personally, I think that would be really fun to watch, but I wouldn't want it just because I think they would win the championship immediately. Which would be fun. It would be really fun to watch. So I'm not I don't really care if Bradley Beal goes to Los Angeles. I don't really care if he stays in Washington. I don't really care. I just want a good NBA season. But when I look at this trade, it's like the Lakers give up several players. Makes sense because they get Bradley Beal and you get another solid player in Daniel House. But they give up, man. They're giving up THT, KCP, Kuzma, and Schroeder. So that's a lot of basketball players. Their bench would be running way slimmer than it already is. I don't even know if every Lakers fan would want to do this trade. I'm sure you already have, but if you haven't already, go ahead and comment what you think about this trade. Just go and do it right now because this is just a whole fiasco we got going on here. We've got 4 days till the deadline. I'm playing around with as many of these hypothetical possibilities as I possibly can. Alex Len's solid and stuff, but I just don't understand a world where, and it's not like the Warriors are giving up. They're not giving up a first, so they are. Bazemore. It's a tough loss, but they'll fill his role. They can fill his role in the offseason. And Oubre is a tough loss, but they're open to hearing more. They're open to hearing offers about Kelly Oubre first off, and then second off, he's on an expiring. The fit just didn't work. He's gone. He's not coming back to Golden State. So that's why I could see the Warriors doing this trade. I don't even think that they would have to throw in Jordan Poole. As a Rockets fan, I would love Jordan Poole, but Jordan isn't necessarily a must for me because we have John Wall, we have Mason Jones, and we have obviously KPJ. So point guard isn't really like a worry. Even shooting guard isn't really like a worry for me, which I know Jordan can play. Like, he's having a good season, though. And I'm not saying I wouldn't take Jordan. I'm just saying I don't know if – I think eliminating him from this trade would make it more realistic. I think actually when you take out Poole, it's fairly realistic from the Warriors' perspective because those guys were good as gone anyways. And Victor Oladipo, they need another playmaking ball handler, man. When Curry is not on that court, they need that so badly. And if they were able to keep Poole and get Oladipo, that would just be a very big W for the Warriors, in my opinion. Looking at this from the Rockets' perspective, it doesn't really pique my interest. Just from a Rockets perspective, there is a way they would do this trade. And the way they would do this trade is because I just want to remind everybody, we don't know what the Rockets, obviously, you're not going to come out and say, hey, we're rebuilding, hey, we're tanking, so we're going to make sure our roster gets worse and worse. They wanted to get Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon wants to go to a contender. So it's like, we don't really know 100% of what the Rockets want because when we traded P.J. Tucker, they got DJ Augustine, a good veteran, and DJ Wilson, a good young player. So it's like, shit. You know what I'm saying? So the only way they do this trade, in my opinion, is if they're just committed to not rebuilding. They're like, F the rebuild. We never wanted to do that to begin with. So let's get Schroeder, let's get Oubre, let's get Kuzma, Bazemore. We'll take the first-round pick, we'll take the second-round pick. But I think particularly just too many things about this trade make it unlikely, and that's just the Rockets receiving way too much of positions that they just don't need. Like, we don't need Schroeder and Poole when we have 3 point guards as it is. So that's number one. Number two, the Warriors, I think if you just eliminate Poole, I think we're on to something. And it's tough because you need the salaries. All these guys, there's so many guys in here just to make the salaries match up. Beal, you got to cover about $29 million. And then with Oladipo, you got to cover about $21 million. That's where Schroeder, 15, Kelly Oubre, a little over 14. That's where these guys come in. So taking a look at the Wizards side, they get a decent haul here. They give up Alex Len, they give up Bradley Beal, and you get 2 first-round picks from the Rockets, which hopefully will be valuable to them. And you also get THT, and you get KCP, who can help fill that role in the meantime while they kind of figure everything out in Washington. But, like, imagine if they do this. They go out, they get Andre Drummond. Somehow Andre Drummond isn't completely doggy at defense, and just like that, the Wizards have a big three in Russell Westbrook, Andre Drummond, and THT. So I don't know if they would do this trade. I think they would do this trade because I don't think Russell Westbrook's here to stay long, and I don't think Bradley Beal's here to stay long. So from the Wizards' perspective, this trade could make sense. But just the whole Jordan Poole for the Warriors doesn't do it for me. And then I just keep looking at this Rockets situation, and it's like, it's good value, right? We're giving up Oladipo, we're giving up House. We're only giving up 2 players, but we're getting 5? like, damn, dude, I don't need 5. So, like, honestly, I would cut it down. I would go, like, Oubre, Kuzma, and Poole. Maybe buy out Oubre, honestly. But then you got Kuzma. Try and figure that out with Kuzma. See if he could be our guy moving on long term. Same with Jordan Poole. That's where it's like, yeah, those 3, you've piqued my interest. But we're giving up 2 first-round picks, so it's like you need to get those 5 guys back. It's just none of none of the three teams, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Wizards, have anything necessarily of value to me in this particular trade. Like Andrew Wiggins and that draft pick are interesting to me for the Warriors, but that's not what this trade is about. So I think from the Rockets' perspective, this trade just doesn't make sense. But I know Lakers fans probably would be quick to hop on this, but it would deplete their bench. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this trade. It is very chaotic. It's probably the biggest trade I've done on this channel, and I really appreciate you guys watching, like I said. So have a nice day, and I'll see you guys later.